All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Rejects and Friends Event Horizon. Rejects and Friends is a little showcase event between the main marathons. Today we have a race between ICED37 and icetoblerones, doing Rain World's 100% Survivor, a race, and I'll just turn it over to them. Good luck.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm ICE37.
I'm icetoblerones. Hello.
For the people who know Rain World, we just finished up a Rain World bingo event yesterday that was hosted on Speed Gaming. And today we're just going to do a showcase of Survivor 100% and be showing off the category. It's been a while since either of us have actually done this run, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
I think we can talk about it once we start, but first thing is that we skip the cutscene by holding S, which is something, it's secret knowledge that whenever people start to speedrun this game, they tend to not know about.
Yep, I'm good to start whenever. You are icetoblerones.
Yeah, I am also ready. So, can we get a countdown, perhaps?
Sure thing. All right, let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so the main thing about the start is that to actually skip the starting cutscene, you need to hold down the S key. Given that I use WASD as inputs, that isn't exactly something you can do normally. As if you hold S, it'll be constantly scrolling down. So I have to hold both S and D to have it move it over, and then it won't move at that point. I just golded the first room. Amazing. And
So,
then
one of the things
tutorial.
about this game relative to some other games that would be Metroidvanias, you start off with all your movement things unlocked, so there's no like wall jumping and there's no air dash. So all these movements that we're doing are things that you start off the game with.
I just did a pretty hard backflip jump there, where you have to actually boost off the pole, and then you can jump in the air. Icetoblerones probably did that as well.
No,
There's
I
a
didn't
few
do
different.
it today.
Okay. But why?
I wanted to play the fanfare music.
I already forget which shelter I'm going to. It should be this one. Yes.
So one of the main things about the gameplay here, nice lizard, is that we have to collect food to be able to sleep in shelters. If you don't have enough, you enter a starving state or you just starve death. And so this game's kind of challenging because you do have to do this all the time. Don't put that out of the way. And then right off to start the run, we do the biggest glitch ever that lets us not have to play the game at all, which is called holding down in the shelter repeatedly.
Or karma caching.
But for the 100% run, we have a few objectives to do. And one of the objectives is to basically rest at full level 5 times, which is kind of unfortunate, but that the run starts with this, but it is what it is. To be able to do any of the other objectives, we have to complete this one first.
Yes. So which means we have to do a lot of karma caching, at least to starve. Basically what's happening is there's a starve mechanic where, well, one, we have to eat enough food to actually correctly save, and then we can have extra food for future cycles, and if we try to sleep and save without enough food, we starve, which doesn't save the game. And if we die, it'll send us back to the last save. But we can abuse the other part of it, which is if you quit out within 30 seconds of a cycle starting, it will refund that cycle. And so we can just continue climb up the ladder as we want. We need to be at top karma for 5 cycles. I'm only going to be there for 1, and then I'm going to farm arrays, though.
Yep. There's a certain place we're trying to go to start the run, and we need to be at the 5 karma to get there.
Also, yes, I am looking at chat, at least. And if there's questions about anything, definitely feel free to ask. The game is not very clear about a lot of things, watching it or not. There's a lot of minute movement that we'll be doing that isn't the most, like, taught, at least normally. Ooh, messed that up. Some of the base things being a slide, where if you input a diagonal downwards and then press jump, you'll start into a slide, and then you can jump another time to actually be able to do the full slide and jump out of it, in which case you can then chain into a roll. Backflips can also start rolls. A lot of the game is backflip slides and rolls to actually get as much speed or height in cases as we need. I am not doing this jump correctly. There we go.
I'm going this way. So another big thing about this game is that the creatures kind of spawn in somewhat consistent locations, but then at the start they distribute randomly. And so you can end up running into creatures in different places. When you go faster, the creatures have less time to distribute, so it's more consistent that way.
Old hops.
But it is still an interesting thing about this game that basically where you run into creatures is going to be different every time.
But yeah, the faster you are, the more consistent it gets, is the best way to put it in some ways. But it's always consistent on what things are going to exist to some degree. These guys are a little annoying. So I'm approaching a scavenger toll right now, which are these monkey creatures. To actually pass the toll, I need to pay them enough stuff that they care about. I've given them a karma flower, which is 5 rep, and a spear, which is 3. We need to pay enough for 10 rep. At which point, after we pay, anything that we give them afterwards is an additional 10 rep. I don't like that there's lizards up there. But also, yes, normal enemies of the game would be these lizards. They're different colors, like the green and the purple one, which means they're very different in how they function. This is a little sketchy. I'm going to try to abuse this, though, if I can. There's no scavengers here, and I haven't paid yet, because they all died.
Classic scavs.
Come to me. Please don't be angry for some reason.
Ooh, no, I died. That sucks.
No.
Okay.
That's really bad on this cycle.
I'll survive.
So, but yes, basic idea is we pay enough for 10 rep, which is normally just a pearl, but we don't get one, but I was able to cheese one right there. Man didn't see my spear. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go now. For Rain World, for 100%, we need to get all passages, which there are 10 passages. And in one case, it's really loud, give it a second, but one of the passages is we have to gain reputation with the scavengers, which is those guys. So we have to give them enough stuff to get 80 rep. And so if we did it correctly, we should be at 50 right now. There's no way we did enough, to be honest. So that's fine. Okay, I died 2 to the green lizard. That's horrible. It shouldn't have grabbed me, but I didn't go through.
Marathon run time, baby. It's not a big deal, but this is kind of a spot where you reset a lot in this run. I'm kind of doing a safety strat, but it didn't work out for me. But basically, you kind of have to do a mad dash across the scav toll, usually upsetting them. We do try to pay them enough, mainly because we are going for that chieftain passage that Ice mentioned before.
also was mentioned in chat, but a lot of movement. You can just kind of chain into each other as much as you want. Additionally, the other part of it being any animation is procedural on creatures. So it's actually however they move is how it'll actually look. With any lizard, they're also going to look unique and act unique depending on what they are. Purple lizard will always act like purple lizard, but each purple lizard may have different stats on how they actually behave in certain situations. And so some might be more aggressive or more shy. In cases, instant death purple, nope. Weird. But for now, we're just trying to get the farm arrays. We have to get all passages along with all the echoes, which there are 6 of them. Then we need to meet 2 NPCs and do something for one of them. And then we need to finish the game. Which a lot of these will happen at the same time.
I just steal from the scavs and hopefully they don't kill me. So I'm stealing their stuff to repay them the next cycle because they have short memory and they forget about it by the time it happens.
Oh yes, I should have did that last time too. It's not crossed just yet. This man. Why is he like this? Move anywhere else.
Did you end up with the green lizard in the farm arrays room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now for a bit of a weird thing. So we mentioned that there are the passages which like roughly translate to Steam achievements that we get during this run. But there's also some other things to do in the game that are as required for 100%. One of them is visiting these things called echoes. I'm going to go prime the first echo, so echoes exist in certain rooms. And you have to basically prime it and then go to visit it with enough karma to be able to see it. Karma is the kind of a symbol that we have that controls which regions we can get into.
And in how many times we sleep is when it goes up, and then if we die, it'll go down. Is the basic idea.
Oh,
Leave those lizards don't come over here.
I hate this guy. Okay, there he goes. This blue lizard is very weird and annoying sometimes. Okay. Do the silly thing where I go into here and then die, though, because this is faster to get back. And we have to karma cache anyways, so this is just the fastest way to do this.
This is just unfortunate for me.
So a few of the other passages that we have to get that we're going to be thinking about, one of them is eating only fruits for several days in a row. One of them's eating only meat for several days in a row.
Again, why?
One of them is killing enough things, so being aggressive, killing a certain number of creatures. We mentioned the scab rep already. One of them is killing all the colors of lizards, which is not technically all, but is essentially 5 different colors. There's one for not hurting anything for a few cycles in a row, or even attempting to hurt things. But yes, now we have spooky ghost thing, which are called echoes. And echoes kind of work strangely. It kind of erases whatever just happened on the cycle that you're on, and then sends you back to the shelter and raises your karma max. And so now I just have to karma cache some more to finish Survivor, but then I can start the real run part of the run. So the biggest thing about why the karma caching glitch works out is that the game saves some things when you do a starve rest and not other certain things. And so for our purposes, we're going to basically take starve rests in certain places and then quit to go back. Instead of having to go actually save somewhere and then walk back, we can just basically get somewhere and then quit. So you'll see that kind of soon. I'll mention it again when I do it. I think Survivor's done for me now. Yeah. So passages also have another functionality besides Steam achievements, and that is to give you an in-game teleport and something which raises your karma to its maximum. We'll see them used a couple of times during the run. But okay, it's time to go back across the scavenger toll. And now that I have these 2 pearls, this should go smooth, hopefully.
You got 2 pearls for it?
I always grab 2 pearls.
Oh, wow.
2 hands, 2 pearls.
There's a man missing. Please don't take those spears.
Ooh. So, an interesting thing is that when there are creatures near holes, you can actually take the scavenger sticks and they won't be offended by it. Because that pink lizard was being crazy. But I'm using a separate kind of exploit right now to overpay the toll to get a lot of extra rep. Because we're trying to have the scavs love us, which is another one of the Steam achievements.
Can't do it at all, apparently, this time, which is really annoying.
Are there no scavs for you? Or...
No, there's no spears because I took them all.
Oh. And I also got a pink lizard kill, which is kind of something that's surprisingly tricky to do. This is kind of a scary situation. Another thing about lizards, they have to open their mouths before they can bite you. It sounds obvious, but you can actually look at their animation to kind of judge when you can safely go past them, which is something I did there. I actually want to go down here because there is something I want to grab, which is this special, unique, like blue pearl that I will need for later.
Okay, you're actually getting that now, or are you already in industrial?
No, I always grab the outskirts one.
The outskirts one. I guess that is fine. You could put it in your stomach in the shelter. I haven't thought about that one really.
And something important right now is that I don't eat to full, actually. I specifically want to not do that. Because of something I'm going to do on the next day. So hopefully I don't get trolled by a batfly flying into my shelter. Because that would be sad.
If I can jump in for just a second.
Yep.
I'm noticing that you all are sort of reacting to a lot of things that the enemies are doing with their interesting AI. So how volatile would you say this run is, just in general?
Hey, it's only the beginning, in my opinion.
This run is it's pretty consistent because of how much batflies stay away. Okay. Because of how much karma caching we do, it's pretty consistent for the most part. Like, a lot of times if you die, it's kind of not the end of the world.
Do I want to say again? No, I don't want to. I'm going to starve.
So you can see that I got Chieftain and I got a pink lizard, which are both good things. But unfortunately, I put my stick in the wall, which I was going to use right now,
But yeah, the big thing is, in my opinion, at least the scavenger toll at the beginning is the annoying part, because that one has a lot of problems surrounding it, both bug-wise and just dealing with creatures that are around it. So I'm in a really bad position because I died twice because of it, and I wasn't able to actually pay them the last time. But they're backups to actually get chieftain that make the scavengers like us later, so that's fine.
pray for shaded
I
scavs.
haven't done this run in a very, very long time, so I've been forgetting some things. I don't know why the scavenger killed me. I think he was trying to hit the green and then overshot.
Oh, it was an accident? Okay.
Well, it was already dead. That's why it didn't really make sense.
The scavs are widely despised, I would say, by certain people. Just because they do a lot of awful things, and they're basically the only other creature that has a ranged weapon.
It's very easy to not understand their actions in a lot of cases. For the most part, it's all body language and just don't do anything you wouldn't do to someone you don't know, and then you can tell how they react in certain other situations. But there's certain other situations where it's just kind of like, suddenly, don't do this anymore, or we'll kill you. Or they're just they'll still have their own variants and how they have their stats. And can't eat that popcorn, unfortunately. But
Scavenger personalities are even more varied.
which can cause them to throw spears at weird spots or just be really aggressive for no reason compared to all the other ones. Because sometimes you'll run into a scavenger that will just attempt to kill you and will just be extremely aggressive about it. And there's not much you can really do about it. Given that we have neutral rep at the start of the game, that usually won't be a problem.
I died once, so I get to see this dream twice. But yes, this is the first instance of me doing a starve rest and then quitting after. Because basically I'm getting a Wanderer pip, which Wander is the passage for resting in all the regions. And so I got that for drainage, and now I'm right back to outskirts. And
Okay.
made progress with Monk at the same time as well, which is the fruit eating passage.
The big deal is to try to get progress in a lot of things at the same time. We'll notice that we don't actually achieve anything for quite a while, and then we'll get a lot all at the same time. Most of this run is based around the Wanderer passage, which is sleep once in every region. Some regions we basically don't see at all because of this, because we just enter it, rest, and then quit out.
And this game definitely has the fastest way to go to the interesting places. And so it's kind of like the minimum detour to just kind of show up there and then proceed. Okay, I hope I see blue lizards when I go to industrial.
So that is one of the things that can be kind of annoying, is getting creature kills. So we need to kill one of every base color of lizard, which the special ones don't show up on this difficulty anyway. And we'll have multiple chances in multiple places, so we usually don't care about it, but some we want to make sure we get by a certain time. Otherwise it'll be much harder. Purple lizard is a good one for that.
Yeah, because the purple lizard is only... It's kind of funny because it's like the most sort of basic neutral lizard, but doesn't appear in a lot of places in the game, actually. It's kind of like the level 1 lizard that you see, and then you don't see it again. Which is true for the green also, except there is a green that's right at the end conveniently, but there's no purple that's at the end. So I made sure... I was very lucky that the purple lizard decided to go attack the scab toll. Made it really easy to get the kill on it.
Chieftain went up pretty high. I didn't see how far it went, but I probably don't have it. which is fine. But now I'm going to drainage now as well. And so one annoying thing about this game that does influence our routing a bit is the fact that we have to get Survivor passage first before we can get any other passages, but also that the Wanderer passage, whatever region we get Survivor in, we can't get Wanderer passage progress until we leave that region we got Survivor in and then come back. Which is why we specifically want to get Survivor in Farm Arrays, because we'll be returning there later. And then
you can see I'm basically doing the standard combo to kill lizards right now, which is you throw a rock to get them to show their back, and then you stab them in the back. Ooh, this is dangerous. Okay. Don't want to see both of these guys here, but...
Blur. Wait for these two.
I needed kill on a white lizard eventually anyways, so... Oh, that one lived for a long time. That might not count, actually. Also, this is a little spooky.
You want to hit 3 times, so...
Yeah, I did.
So,
it should count for me.
We didn't really state how creatures work, really. So one, to kill creatures, you have to get them to negative health. You can't just get them to 0 health, you have to get them to negative health. Creatures like the purple and the white lizard have 2 health, so you hit them twice and they're at 0. They're hurting really bad, they get stunned randomly on random rolls, but they're still alive. If you hit them again, they'll be in negatives, which means they'll start rolling for a chance for them to die every tick. However, for lizards, there's no hard cap, which means that there is no hard, if you do enough damage, it will always die. For other creatures, there is a hard cap. So technically, lizards can be immortal if they really want to. Otherwise...
0% probability of being immortal.
Yeah. But stuff's happened where things like that have messed up people, mostly with drop wigs. We only see one of those in this run.
I didn't even notice if I had the camo lizard. And you can probably also notice that there's an interesting variety to these lizards for things that they do. So greens are like the super tanky lizard, which is why I haven't messed with it yet. Ooh. Narrow escape.
Splits got messed up.
It was probably from dying, if I had to guess.
Oh, I'm behind splits. That doesn't make sense. Also, one other thing to talk about is how creatures work to actually know that you're there. They can hear you and they can see you, of course. But they need to have enough stimulus, with at least seeing, in this case, or feeling that you're there, long enough to really register that you're there. So if you move past fast enough, they won't actually know you're there or react enough to where it actually matters. For every creature, except for the centipede, which is why we all hate them, they need to actually charge up their attack. Which basically means they need to open their mouth. And it's only when their mouth is open is when they can actually bite you. Is a good way to put it. And so for a lot of creatures, this takes quite a while. And we can abuse that to be able to get by them. Basically, jump into them and then jump away, and they can't do anything about it because they literally can't be fast enough. I'm going to do a funny jump because I can. Nice.
Ooh. Trying to jump onto spheres is the worst thing in this game.
Miracle. I don't remember where to save at all. I'm gonna assume I go all
the
way
middle
to the
of industrial,
right.
or where are you
Right
going?
side industrial.
Yeah. Like the one that's below chimney is what I always do. Because you have to get the garbage rest.
Yep. So one other thing about how creatures work is for at least lizards, it's different for every creature, is that every time they bite you, there's a chance for them to instantly kill you.
Yeah, it's probability also.
Instead of just grabbing you, if you're just grabbed, you have a window to do one action, and this would be to throw something. If you have a spear, it'll always hit them in the face. If you're throwing a rock, it'll just go horizontally left or right, which may or may not actually work out for you. And that allows you to be alive a lot longer than you normally would, but you're just hoping you don't get that bad roll. For green lizards, they're the highest at 50% chance. But generally it's about 33%. Every time you're grabbed, you're going to die. Some creatures are at 0, but they might not get interrupted, even if you hit them. Stuff like that.
There are also other creatures besides lizards that do similar kind of things. Lizards are the main one, though, that you basically, like, parry.
For this
I keep
one,
forgetting to press my splits.
It'll be what matters. It can be a bit different for Hunter as well, but we're not playing as that character. Also,
there's the DLC.
As
Crab
the
first
Nicholson
new
says,
thing since 2017.
So
the first new thing.
This game's been in stasis for quite a long time, with problems with some publishers, so there wasn't able to be any updates to the game. But coming this Thursday, I believe it is, or is it Friday? I'm not remembering.
Thursday.
The next DLC will come out, which is Downpour. And Downpour is going to be very good, and I'm definitely not biased in any way.
Ice was one of the QA testers for it.
Yes. So I'm very excited for that. I have early access personally, and will be streaming it tomorrow. And so will a lot of other people. Maybe one fruit.
So one of the things that we haven't quite talked about yet is the soundtrack for this game is kind of interesting. You've probably... Oh, a vulture. You've probably noticed there isn't a ton of music that you hear. A lot of it is like kind of positional triggers for things. But are about to get us on soon because I am trying to go up here. You know, do I attack this fella? I only have one stick. Okay, so the way these guys work... okay, if you hit them a couple of times, it basically gets them to be afraid of you, and they decide to leave. There are also relations between the creatures, so like lizards are afraid of those giant birds, depending which lizard it is.
Yep. So, yeah, one thing about the giant birds for vultures is if you kill them or just hit them in a correct spot, their face will come off, which is a mask, and then you can wear their face and scare the lizards. Kind of want to kill this green lizard. I should have got an explosive spear, really. Actually, wait, I don't need to care about that, actually. Yes, we wear the faces of our dead enemies to scare the other enemies.
2 metal. I'm actually going to eat the flower. If I can actually pick it up. This flower... Oh, there's almost no reason to ever eat this thing, honestly. I just did it anyways. Okay. It's very nice as a casual player, though. But for us, anytime you starve rest, it gets rid of the flower. And so we starve rest a lot in this run, and so taking the flower is normally pointless. But what it does, it gives you a second chance. It's like getting your souls back in Dark Souls. Where if you can get to where you died, the flower will be there, and it protects your karma level from going down.
For casual play, the flower helps quite a lot. If you're playing as the monk character, when you die, it'll always leave a karma flower behind, which is a big deal.
We live in. Honestly, that camel lizard can be in worse boss than that. Could have been worse.
What is my chieftain? My chieftain is half. That's not good.
These lizards are not happy with me.
Also, thank you for the good luck, Pippi. Cute garbage worms. No, they steal my spears. Don't call them cute. Don't do it. They're also annoying because they get in the way sometimes.
Accidentally hitting the garbage worms is one of the worst fates you can have in this game. Yes. I'm getting kind of stuck by this lizard here, but it's coming this way, so I can.
We don't have to go to garbage wastes in this run. We both just starved in that area already and don't need to worry about it. But what am I thinking?
I just did the thing that I am now calling a wave dash because it looks like a wave dash, even though the inputs for it are nothing like a wave dash. It's actually just doing something called an extended slide, where you do a slide and throw your item behind you, gives you this kind of weirdly scripted speed boost that if you jump right out of it at the start, then you can do it with much less kind of terrain. You don't need any special terrain to be able to do it. And you go faster. I didn't stay in this room long enough. Oh, I actually did. Oh, I don't trust it, though. There's another echo up here that I should have primed. This lizard's right behind me, though.
Yeah, a lot of cases, movement kind of evolves slowly. We've been slowly working on all the different movement that this game can offer over a very long period of time. There's a specific channel that's been dedicated to movement as well. Personally, it's a bit much for me at times. I just want to play the video game and do speedruns, usually. But for the back throw that icetoblerones talking about, it's an EI hop, because it's an extended instant slide. But it's also
Ray, I got outlaw and happy.
Instead. And these lizards are in the worst places ever. The man stole my pearl with his tongue.
You're probably going to see a divergence between our routes a little bit on this one, where I try to get outlaw early all the time, and Ice normally gets it in Shaded Citadel,
which is the easy place to get it.
And my way is killing lizards. There's an echo here. I could get this now or later. I have a feeling if I don't get it now, I'm going to forget, though, so I'm going to just get it now. And also, the other good thing about getting it now is I can't understand what it is saying. And so the cutscene for it just ends as soon as possible. Whereas if you can understand it, then you have to try to time falling out of the room so that you get out of range of it. Oh, I fell down. Okay. I haven't messed that up in a long time.
All in the perfect places to make this annoying. He pushed him off. Okay. Amazing. Some of the creatures in this game are great. I'm going to try the jump. I probably shouldn't try, but I'm going to anyway.
Oh, there's something else I didn't mention, which is in this game, if you throw an item forward, it speeds you up because physics.
Physics works where if you throw something forward, you also get thrown forward, just like in real life. But supposedly it was to make it feel like the throw had a bit more force to it, but if we're in the air, it will bring us forward just a bit. I don't like the noises I'm hearing above me. I'm going to go the other way. Many men's today in Chimney. There's a blue lizard behind that gear. I was wondering what that was. I've never seen them like perfectly highlight. No, it's a white lizard. Never mind. actually really good spot. So white lizards are camo lizards, which means if they stop moving, they'll camouflage to the colors around them, which makes them a lot harder to see at times. Also, we haven't really talked about it, of the different items that exist. For the most part, we're mostly just going to have rocks and spears, which is really all we need for the different throwing stuff. That guy got a little messed up by the physics. But we'll have other specific area items, like I have a pearl that I'm going to want to get Scholar with later. Scholar is a passage that we also can't get progress on just yet. We can only get it after we've met both of the NPCs, and so we're going to place it in a specific location that we're going to teleport back to much later, so that we can actually get progress on that passage. We need to just touch 3 pearls after we've met both NPCs. And so I've carried this one. I've also put the other in my stomach, which you can put 1 item in your stomach if it fits in there, that you can throw up and then have whenever you want.
Secret storage pouch.
I never ate
Since like cat's
anything.
face.
Wow. I completely forgot about the popcorn. I don't know if I have enough time for that. I'm not getting monk anymore, that's for sure.
You have enough time. Shoreline sucks though.
Well, I'm at top of chimney. I'm for monk. I need to get food to actually rest, is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm at 0. Bat flies, peace be graceful.
The nature of the creatures being kind of random in this run as well is something where the route changes a lot. Also, I'm just going to go up here for fun. There's a horrifying thing here that is called a drop wig. That
also
people who play this game can see, but no one else probably can.
On my screen,
horrifying.
This is probably the only time this is going to be relevant, is the game is Rain World, because every certain amount of time, it's determined when we pull up map, we can see a timer for when it'll happen. It'll rain, and anything outside in the rain when it happens will die. And so, which is why we actually need to save and eat enough food to weather the rain. And so I was able to get enough food and rest there. I don't like eating bat flies because that counts as meat, not vegetables, so I'm not getting progress on one of the passages. But it's fine just to be able to save up there. And karma caching later will help a lot.
I normally try to get a yellow lizard here, but this is something Ice normally doesn't do because it sucks. But
you getting one in, oh, the ball one?
Yeah.
Oh, do not die to the ball men.
Worked out.
I'm to die to white lizard men.
It wasn't obvious because there was only one there, but these guys have a pretty special magical power, which is they're kind of telepathic. Oh no, I didn't mean to throw that way. You know, I just thought I could have done the fruit climb today.
No. No.
Ooh. That one was close, actually.
So there's a lot of semi-new tech for movement lately that's just using other objects. In one case, it's using just creature bodies and grabbing it and throwing it at the same time to actually be able to fly to some degree. And then you can also use a berry or any other small, actually bodied object and just keep throwing it and going into a wall to climb a flat wall as much as we want. Which I don't think any of us really want to do that for carpal tunnel reasons, but people are still trying it in some runs or not. I have no intention of doing that personally.
I've tried to do it. It is not good. It's funny though. And the other thing is, it only works with certain creature bodies. That's the other thing about it.
Yep. Works really well with Jetfish, which on certain runs is
Might be
something we
okay.
will care about.
Okay. I should be safe the rest of the way up here, though. I had feisty camo lizards today. This is like one of the parts that is probably most challenging for a new player to get through if they decide to go this way.
I am
This
just
is also
pressing
definitely
buttons.
this is definitely not the intended way to go, by the way. There's a different way to go that you're supposed to.
The intended way to go is wherever you want to go. Do we save on the wall? I should eat that popcorn.
I do it because of the echo, right?
Yeah. Do I save on the wall now? That's the real question.
You mean at the bottom?
No. I was thinking on the way up or the way down.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I do it the way up, I guess. It doesn't matter. Or no, it does, because you passage out of pebbles. What do you mean the way down?
Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of Hunter right now, except that doesn't make any sense, because Hunter can't teleport either.
Don't worry, it's been a while. It's been a while. I have my splits to tell me what to do, so I can remember. I'm just unquestioningly following them.
This point where icetoblerones is going to be in just a little bit, I would say is the half point of the run. Which is meeting the first of the NPCs, which is, in a lot of cases, a major spoiler, depending on if people care about that or not.
A lot of my passages are looking good now. So I have most of the things that I care about now. For some reason, for 100% though, we have this kind of interesting extra thing that we have to do, which is taking a neuron to one of the NPCs. Mainly because there's a special dialogue for it. It's really short, but it's still something that we do. It was decided a long time ago that this would be a requirement of this run. But for now, I'm just going up to another ghost.
It could be considered one of the side quests of the game. Or basically we're just helping out one of the characters. It's implied that we should do it. It's not like fully said like most of this game. For the most part, if you play this game casually, it's kind of like, here you are in this world, find your family, or just kind of vibe and do whatever, which I think is great. And just if you play this game, you should just not care about progress, in my opinion, and just kind of explore and see everything that you can and do whatever you want. I've definitely heard of people who've gone to like only 3 regions, but have been to cycle 100, which is mean they've played 100 individual cycles.
Where they've been successful also.
Yes, and they've just killed lizards the whole time.
That's how I started playing the game. I got to see a lot of interesting creatures that I probably wasn't supposed to as a first-time player.
But this game, you can just kind of do whatever you want with it. There definitely is a story. It's not entirely barren, but for you as your character, it's not about your character. So we're in the area with all the white lizards. There's very particular ways to actually deal with them. Everyone does a little bit different. I was hoping he wouldn't go that far. Blue lizard. He's here. That white lizard's in the worst space. He fell over. Jason doesn't like cucumbers. It's all over.
No. This thing is fun to do. This kind of wave dash type thing. It's kind of tricky though.
So icetoblerones on the top of the area that I'm in right now, where they're just in a giant flat expanse. Normally we go right to left in like a casual playthrough, but it doesn't matter to us. I'm right now just trying to worry about white lizards. There's 4 white lizards in this area, and they could be anywhere, and they just sit somewhere and don't move. Also, I'm just trying to be careful, so I'm killing the pole lizards. Very scary. Oh goodness, he was right there. Why is he there?
You are having a time today, it sounds like.
He didn't kill me. He like kind of noticed I was there and then did nothing about it.
Okay, here's something I need to do, which is called not eating to full, because if I eat to full, it's very bad. 1, 2, okay, and now I proceed.
This man follows me. Please stop following me.
Okay, so time for extreme strangeness, by the way. And also extreme spoilerness, but you know, it is what it is.
I'm just gonna run in a circle a few times. I'll get there eventually.
Because now there is no gravity. I missed the
good spot for him.
Oh no. Being stuck in 0G is the worst. I haven't done this in a little while. Trying to get in this pipe is annoying sometimes. Okay, there we go.
0G time. There's still another white lizard. I don't know where he is.
So Iced and I have the creature spawns vaguely memorized, so we know where to expect to see them.
I see.
Although it's always going to be spread out between a few rooms.
He's hiding. Don't tell him.
Okay, and here is NPC number 1.
My controller stopped. Oh, it couldn't go left. Okay, and now I'm fine.
Oh.
That was almost bad. I had.
So there is one thing about this run that it's kind of like a New Game Plus run, but it's mainly because resetting your save is annoying. But there's a longer version of this cutscene that plays if you haven't met this character on the harder difficulty. And so we allow having that for runs just because having to reset your save entirely all the time would be annoying. And most people who are running this game have done that. We also just have the save files provided by the community if you want to like not have to do any of that stuff either.
Yep. One thing to state is that it doesn't matter if you play this game on keyboard or controller. You can do whatever you want. We're both on keyboard. However, we're using a virtual controller to make the keyboard pretend that it's a controller. So mine was unhappy for a second there and wouldn't let me go left, and it almost killed me. But the reason why we want to pretend a keyboard is a controller is because on controller we're able to do a specific move which allows a different type of roll. There's 2 different types of rolls which are used both in very different situations depending on what you want. And can allow you to do rolls in situations where you wouldn't normally be able to. And pick up items during a roll.
Yeah, starting the roll is way easier. It's way faster. And it lets you pick up items during it. Both are very weird properties of it. Man, if that neuron kept going this way, that would have been the luckiest this had ever gone for me. But okay.
Basic idea is that a roll is just holding a diagonal downwards in the direction you want to go in. But if we do a really shallow angle, which can only be done with a controller, which in this case we do it by pressing spacebar to force the small angle downwards, that will allow us to do the other roll, which allows us to jump rolls like this off of really small jumps. And then otherwise we want to use keyboard because we can do a move called fast pole climb.
Which is this
I kind of did a little bit.
I am doing it right now in 0G, but this is way faster than normally climbing the poles. It is kind of hard to do, though.
you can do it really, really, really fast. It really depends on how fast you can do the inputs. But if you do it wrong, you get jumped off, which on controller, it's not easy because you have to actually
You need
do
to be like
a
sufficiently
good
straight up,
input.
which is tough.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm at the part of the run where I can lose the most time by doing something wrong, which is I need to press a button in the lower left and not press continue, whatever I do. Which is confusing because the first thing I have to do is press continue here. Okay, and that's why I use my mouse, because I won't mess it up this way. One of the restrictions we have for our runs is that we only passage to shelters that we visited, just because your map is saved between playthroughs as well. This is another thing that's kind of like, you could use the provided save file. It'd probably be the best thing if everyone just did it each time, or you can just remember where you've been. And
with
I want to go
Downpour
here,
coming
so
out,
this is good.
one thing that's been a problem for PC with a controls kind of thing is that a lot of D-pads wouldn't work for doing like slides and stuff, and that should be fixed going forward.
Yeah, one of the weird things for a while is that the PC version is like
A bit
on
outdated.
an older patch. Yeah, it's an outdated patch compared to the console version, which has one really important change for me, but generally barely anything's changed. There are a couple extra cutscenes for the difficulties that are interesting.
So once again, kind of saying, it doesn't matter which
I'm inside this
input
lizard.
method you use,
Damn, that was pretty sweet. I meant to exit there.
because controller works very well. I use controller for a very long time. And it helps with a lot of minute movements that you can't do on keyboard, but I've gotten used to keyboard now.
This is actually super weird. Why is there a green lizard here? Did this lineage? This one's not always here, is it?
In Sky Islands?
No, in
Or you're going to... Yeah, you're going to...
in industrial. So there's normally a green around here. Yeah, I guess it does spawn in
Yeah,
the bottom
there
of
is
this
a
room.
green there. I was thinking about it. Give me items to throw, please. Now I'm meeting Spoiler Man.
So previously I've been eating fruits mainly, but now I'm kind of switching to eating meat exclusively if I can manage to, which kind of works out in this next region because it's mainly only meat to eat.
GameCube controller sounds like it would work really well. I used that for a little bit on Switch because it seemed like it would work well, but I didn't want to spend too much time with that because GameCube controller is very different from any other controller.
I can't wait for Downpour to have the option to make the gates quieter.
Yes, that and reduced screen shake would be great.
There's kind of a funny thing I do there, which is if I do a slide pounce like I did, it makes it so that you can survive much further landings. It also gives you a better probability to get another pounce out of it, which is just kind of a physics quirk for the game.
Favorite vegetables. Please stop moving, Pebbles. Okay, one neuron. UIC2, yes.
Also, this region's interesting because when you come here normally, it's basically pitch black dark in a lot of places. But you can see now that there's a light around my character, and I got that from eating the thing inside of 5 pebbles. So that was recently done, and I think Ice is just doing it right now. But eating those things flying around there is the reason that I'm glowing currently.
Yep. So if we eat a neuron, we start glowing. There are 2 sources for this. Very important. And then we need to bring one of these back to another character, which we can put one in our stomach if we are full. This is why we eat to 1 less than full, so we can eat one, get the glow, because we need to get the glow for 100%. And then...
It's like the only permanent upgrade in the game.
Forward. Yeah, well, the karma upgrades, but yes.
I'm going to just detour here for music. Oh, as long as I can climb up. I should have just taken the top path.
Outskirts for bioengineering.
I think it's the triggers in this room. There are a few paths through all the regions. Okay, here's the song. Good.
Okay. Passage. Passage or die horribly.
There are spooky spiders here. Sometimes. Don't worry about them. If you don't see them, they're not there.
They're not real. Unless lantern mice make them real. In which case it's bad.
The way those creatures work is that they need something around to increase their bloodlust. It's actually what the game code says. And so normally if you go into the room and it's totally dark, their bloodlust hasn't been increased, and then you're safe to just run through. But if there are mice around, they might be angry.
But generally they're scared of things that are bright.
Glowing.
Yeah. But they'll also want to kill things
I did something wrong.
that are glowing.
It's okay.
What did you do? Did you still have a pearl in your stomach or something?
No, I just rested and didn't go to the Shaded Echo. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You can get more hunter progress.
Well, I'm gonna walk to it and then quit. Actually, maybe I'll walk there and walk back. I really don't need to. I mean, this is one way to do this, I guess.
Back. That is annoying.
So, on the hard mode, you don't have to do this, which is the reason I forgot this time. I remembered the other times. But on hard mode, these things already just exist. You don't have to prime them. For normal mode, I have to do this. I have to go stand around in here, wait for that.
Oh, got stuck. Better.
Which I actually am just gonna starve to keep hunter progress, I think.
Yep. But at this point, we're just going straight to Moon with the next NPC character. And then getting everything that's relevant on the way. This route has changed a good amount over time, where we used to go straight to this character first and then come back.
That's like the intended way to play the game.
A few other ways to do it. We specifically made an intended percent category where we go the route that is most common for new players and is kind of hinted at by the game itself of where the game wants you to go. We don't do that at all in any speed run because one area is really, really bad and we avoid it as much as possible.
It's really slow and also just challenging and other bad things. I lost my flower, though.
I love death pits.
There's another flower pretty close, though, so this isn't too bad.
It is unfortunate, though, because we don't get to see the grapple worm, which is kind of why the 10% exists. As all intended route is also the only glitchless category. But it really shows off the grapple worm, which is a worm that you can hold on to and use like a grapple. It has 2 firing modes, which is one is an auto aim upwards, and then one is a diagonal to have you swing well. It's very good for horizontal. Very good for horizontal movement.
It only exists in a very narrow part of the game, though, unfortunately, and it's a place that is too slow to go to for it to be worth it. But it's definitely one of the most fun things to use in the game. Oh, right. I can understand. You have no name. I forgot that I have the mark.
You gotta leave immediately on that one.
I wish I had a longer cycle here, but I'll be okay. Oh, can't go up that way. So yes, I am. One of the themes of this game also is kind of using the creatures that you encounter. The scavs are blocking the way I'm trying to go. That's okay. The scavs love me right now, so I don't have to be quite so afraid of them. Except, I don't know what that was about. It's just randomly throwing spears. Okay.
Also, one thing to state is that if you notice we're glowing, normally we wouldn't be glowing at this point. It makes this area much easier. We wouldn't really care normally, just because we already know exactly what this area looks like anyway.
It's nice for people watching, though, at least.
Yep. But this normally would be entirely pitch black, and you wouldn't be able to see anything.
Kind of, at this point, I can do the region not quite blindfolded, but I probably could get pretty far in it that way.
Ooh, you're lucky. Right now, I'm trying to kill extra creatures, or it's technically considered to be neutral creatures, which is all other creatures, to get the outlaw passage.
Back into Lantern Mice, how could you?
There's so many of them.
It is a little funny what the game does count for passage progress towards outlaw, because a lot of things don't count or have this kind of weirdly neutral property, but for some reason Lantern Mice do count.
Probably didn't kill enough by any means, but I can finish the rest next cycle.
Swimming in this game is also something that is a struggle for a lot of new players.
One important reason. I have to save. I can't make it to the echo.
There are a few reasons, but one of them is that you kind of are slightly buoyant, and so if you just hold to the side, you end up sliding against the wall, and that is not good. It slows you down a lot.
On my screen right now, you notice that there's no mechanism for this gate, and so that happens because when the rain is happening, it doesn't load in if you're new
giant
to the
sea
region.
monster.
Which is interesting. But one of the other things about it, so you naturally float up. If you're scraping your face on the ceiling, it's really bad, and you move extremely slowly, which people don't really realize. people don't pay attention to their oxygen either, which is dictated by the expression Slugcat has, like closed eyes, essentially, which people just really don't pay attention to, I notice. And then otherwise, pressing jump, which gives you a small boost in the water, actually is the worst thing you can possibly do because it uses up a significant chunk of your air when you do it.
Okay, maybe the giant sea monster has left. This is scary because I can barely see off the screen. I think it's deciding to leave, but I'm gonna be cautious because I still hear a threat theme. Okay, it's leaving. Of all spots in the game that we might do the new insane flying with a creature, it is this spot in particular.
Might have to go back to get slime mold. To keep
Do you not have food?
No, I don't want to get bat flies.
I think those slime molds count for hunter.
No, they don't.
They don't? I can't remember.
We've talked about this, actually.
Yeah, I can never remember.
They're not alive.
This is the question: is fungus a fruit or is it meat? That's what I want to know.
Does fungus?
I think it's meat.
Fruit?
I guess it's cheese, kind of, right? It's cheese. I guess
What?
cheese is a fruit, right?
That doesn't
Like
make sense.
when it says the servings of fruit per day, you can just eat cheese. That's
feel
what
like
I've been doing.
I'm gonna stop talking about. Purple is a fruit. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I almost forgot something here, but I remembered. There's something I want to grab here. It's another lore pearl.
Hello is a vegetable, of course. Should have known all along. Just like tomato.
And there's kind of a trick that I do here, which is I don't want to, I really, really don't want to accidentally eat the thing in my stomach currently. And so if I eat like this, the odds of that happening is much lower, of me accidentally eating this.
Yes, it's time to not accidentally eat the thing in our stomach. Words that make sense. So you notice I came into this room, killed a bunch of lantern mice, left, and then came back. And then all the lantern mice are just strung up on their tails on the ceiling. Like they normally would be when they're alive, but they weren't originally. Which is kind of a funny thing that happens. Get to see the character we're gonna meet in a little bit. In a cutscene.
Also, there's a kind of funny detail of this game is that even though this is the first
Far
time
away from Monk.
I've met this NPC and I brought something to them, it hurt them. Which is unfortunate, but that's what happens. Okay, I have to remember to press passage again, because...
It basically plays the wrong cutscene, because if the first time you meet them, their neurons are different from 5, it considers that you've hurt them. And so if you give them a neuron the first time you meet them, it considers that you've hurt them. They don't act differently in any way, but it'll play the wrong cutscene, essentially. It's just a funny little thing that can happen. And happens all the time in runs. I'm not sure if it gets you the other achievement. Color vegetable. It all makes sense now.
So something important is that after meeting that NPC, I can now make progress on the Scholar passage as well, which you get for touching 3 of the special lore pearls, which we mentioned earlier. But you have to meet the NPCs first. So early in the run, I picked up that pearl, like way back in the first region, and carried it all the way here, so that when I passage to the shelter, it would be here. Yo, I got a rainbow in Sky Islands.
Where's my mans?
Right now, I'm trying to do something in particular, which is maintaining my progress on Saint. So I'm trying to get through here the best I can without throwing any items at anything.
And I'm not going to care about that whatsoever.
Which, if I do things well, this will save me time at the end of the game.
I'm
So
still
I
going
should
for
have enough
monk,
time
though.
for it.
So icetoblerones and really Hempamaz did a lot of routing of trying to do everything as early as possible. So you're trying to balance a huge amount of stuff at the same time. My routing is don't care at all, just karma cash for it, so you don't have to worry about it. I still try to get monk during the run, though. Ooh, that was almost bad. Well, it makes how I do things a lot less stressful. Which, if you can limit the amount of things you need to worry about in this game, always a good idea. Because you should be
this
just
is
playing
also
the game.
a bit of an interesting detail, is that there are these kind of flying creatures. The white one has way more stamina than the dark ones. So I try to always grab the white one. No, I wanted that. Okay. The dark ones are kind of... Oh, that was terrible. I died to the spooky pink that's in the pipe off screen. Okay. I have to remember to spit out the pearls again. It's okay. We just get more time with lovely ARPs, which is this song. Hello, DT MP. I had pretty bad luck with the wizards as well, so.
Arrest an extra time. Just to try to get monk.
This is the worst place this fella could be. So it'll probably get me here. Nope. Cool.
So one thing I do want to state again. So if you play a lot of platformers these days, you obviously notice the movement in this game is unlike a lot of movement in other games, which is why I really, really like it. And this makes it a game you could play quite a lot and just kind of mess with movement for a really long time, which is why this game's movement stuff is crazy. But for a lot of other games, you're basically a glorified box that moves around with maybe extra abilities. And even though as base Slugcat we don't have any extra fancy abilities, just the ability to not be a box that runs around, I think is really,
am I gonna
really
take
nice.
this one? I'm kind of not willing to do that. It looks like I don't have a choice, though. Oh, okay, it came back. These creatures are really annoying, and they kind of hate you passively, which is fun sometimes when they knock you off the side, but... Okay.
Please come back, Fishman. But yeah, one other thing about the movement is if we're standing straight up, you're kind of in your standing straight up state, but otherwise you're in a kind of floppy free roam. You can have both of your body chunks in any orientation to each other and control that accordingly. There's a Leviathan there. He almost killed
I
me.
had one also. Giant sea monster. Something that's kind of funny is that has not made an appearance yet in this run. I'm just thinking about our centipedes, which I normally think of as one of the other main creatures that are hostile that you'll run into.
What is this man doing?
Also jumping off the screen where I can't see what I'm
leaving.
doing. Did I just know what to do?
So for people who speedrun this game, Leviathan is a killer. Very large man that's supposed to give you fear of deep bodies of water. Which I think it does well, even before you see it, just by seeing tentacles going everywhere.
How can you have a sea without a sea monster?
And so it's really large, but it turns really quickly. It can only do one... oh my goodness, this jetfish is going to kill me. It can only do one big bite, which is actually a kill function that'll delete anything in it. But once it does an actual bite or attempts too many times, it will be unable to attempt again.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just leave the room like mine did.
Okay, whatever. So something that is also a bit of a funny quirk in this game is that, which bailed me out there, is that creatures can't really bite things out of your hands. And so if I position myself in a way that the squid I'm holding onto is in the way between me and the lizard, it won't be able to get a hold of me. Which is kind of risky. It worked out there, but...
Yep. And love trying to get 2 or 3 lizard friends. So in this game, for people who don't know, you can feed lizards different other creatures, and they'll slowly start to like you, and then they'll be your friend, and they'll follow you around and help you out with stuff. It's a very fun thing to do, depending on what you like. That's one of the passages we're going to be getting as well. We need to rest 3 times with a friend lizard. Be doing that at the end of the run. And then a lot of people, for what Tesla Coil says, people found the animation to be weird for movement stuff. It definitely, when you first play this game, it feels very awkward at first. But once you really start getting into it, you start to realize how actually precise a lot of the movement is. And you just need to know where and when you can do things. You don't want to... Give me a second. Walk in, get dialogue, then I can leave. Like, if you're in pipes, you don't want to be going backwards into the pipe like I am right now, because then you move slower. Or you don't want to be boosting too much. Or you can do all the other fancy other stuff that the game doesn't even teach you. You don't need any of that. You just need the pounce move that the game teaches you at the beginning. But a lot of the other stuff, it's just kind of learning and figuring out what you can.
I feel like I forgot something, but...
Slowly figuring out how to actually move in this game is one of the things that it offers for you to try to learn. And this game's all about teaching yourself in a lot of ways and exploring. It's a survival game first. In a lot of those ways. The worst that could happen in Sky Islands. Sky Islands is a painful place.
This region made me rage quit the first time I played this game that I had playthrough. Because I got stuck here and there's nothing to eat. It was just bad. And I think I didn't understand grabbing these squid creatures.
Yeah, learning that some creatures can be helpful is something as well, because it doesn't really tell you.
Don't hurt me, Scav.
People not learning how scavengers work is another thing, and how you can be friends with them. Like, it'll be really aggressive, any scavenger will be really aggressive to you, but then you give them something and they'll just stop.
Just like real friends.
Exactly. My chimney canopy almost teleported me to the wrong place. So I have all 3 lore pearls in with me. So I should get Scholar.
Wait, do you have 3?
Yes.
Which other one do you get?
You said you got the outskirts one, so I carried it all the way up with the industrial one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What
Which
I always
kind of makes sense. Now I have 3 to give to this scav merchant.
True. That's a good call. That's actually smart. What I always do for that is I only bring the outskirts one because there's another one right along that we have to go to. Also, this is the part of the run where I need to pay attention to my food, so I'm gonna just spookily increase the width of my splits so I can read them. Because I always do this part wrong.
Wish there was more places and ways for boost detecting. Every place you gotta deal with your own way at the end. So everything needs their own way to be dealt with. Of course, it would be nice if you could do a lot of crazy stuff, but...
Talking about volatile parts in this run, this, out of everything, it's unfortunate that's this far in, but this is one of the most volatile parts, is being lucky about where these crazy creatures are hanging out and that they do what they're supposed to do.
I am friends with the scavengers now. 3 bombs for 1 pearl, did I see that right? He can only hold 2 at a time, so I doubt that. This purple lizard's not going to move for a while. There we go. That could have been bad. So if you notice with pipes, if you're both going through a pipe, either together or against the grain, against each other,
there's no interaction.
You don't hit each other, so you just go through each other. And so understanding how that works can be great. Screen transitions, otherwise, can be quite scary.
There is a mod for
into stuff.
For a scrolling screen that actually works pretty okay now. It is kind of disturbing, though, to use when you're used to where the screen transitions are.
Yes.
Okay,
I didn't get a squid cicada. Hopefully there's one over here. Please be here. I know there's always one. I think he went through me, or that was bad flies.
Well, I got unlucky with this, but it's okay. It'll be here eventually. Oh, okay.
I have the squid man. So I'm about to enter, I don't know if you already went through it or not. I'm about to enter the worst room in the game. Which I don't know what happened making this room. But you can't actually see where anything is. I need 1 bat fly before I leave. So when holding a squid cicada, you can't, you're two-handing the squid cicada. So you can't grab anything else, but because game is like, oh, you can still hold 2 items, and you auto-grab bat flies when you're still hungry, it allows you to still grab a bat fly. So it's the worst room in the game. You jump off screen, because of course you do, giving even more anxiety to the giant death pit below you. My favorite. Off-screen jumps over death pits. Orange lizard.
Please, dears, don't be crazy.
I must kill the orange lizard eventually.
This is, of course, the deer mating ritual currently occurring. Not really. This is traffic jam ritual.
That was annoying. I'll kill an orange lizard now. Or not.
Deers bow to other deers, and the priority for that is antler size. But,
Kinda. I don't know if it really is, but there's some other property about it. Of where deer will bow to other deer, and it'll just
sometimes the deers are too polite, and they can't decide who has the larger antlers, so they decide to just kind of shake around and stare at each other. I always forget there are yellow lizards here on Survivor mode. I guess technically you could get the yellow lizard in this next room, but if you're doing that, Saint would be way off.
Where I go, this white lizard's in a bad spot. Blue lizard. There's literally 0 throwables in this room. Cool.
I'm about to do a funny glitch that we found a while ago. That is one of the most glitchy actual glitches that this game has to offer. besides literally flying.
And the bees glitch, which we don't know how to control currently. There's a few fancy glitches to this game. There's even the hyperspeed glitch, which we can use in Hunter 100%, but is also quite unwieldy. It can only be used in a certain situation.
Is there no deer here?
But you'll see it on icetoblerones screen in a bit, where we can just... Riding deer is the worst thing in this game, and so finding ways to not ride deer is great, and so this glitch allows that.
I think the deer is
So we
in the
don't
corner.
have to worry.
There's normally always one in here.
There still has to use a deer, though. It still needs to be there.
Yeah. And it has to be in the room first, too.
I got Chieftain and
I might have got
Scholar.
owned. This doesn't happen to me very often. I can tell where a deer is because of the grass, but I might have to do this instead. Okay, it's coming over.
Please go away, egg bug. There we go. I must Sky Island's Echo now.
Is it not here? Okay. Well, this is my last-ditch effort to try to survive. Because I don't have enough time. Man, I almost never have no deer in this room. Oh, this is going to be really close.
It's the Hunter room that you're in.
Oh, please, deer, come down here. Okay. Go, go, go. It's gonna start walking the wrong direction really soon. This way, this way. Go, 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 go. I have about 30 seconds for it to get to where it needs to, and if it doesn't, it might just turn around really soon at the worst time, but I'm gonna jump and try to make it if it does. Well, at least we got to hear the cool song. Oh! Please, please, no.
What's happening? Was it rain?
Yeah, I was so close. I was so
there.
close. I was so close to where I needed to get to. That's unfortunate. I have around the same cycle length. I was so close.
No, you gotta go all the way back. So that cycle is a bad one to die on as well. I assume we're at the same part right now.
Yep, I am back in Sky Islands. I'm debating to take the closer shelter right now. I don't really have food though, so I'm probably just going to try again and hope I'm a little luckier. The first deer was okay, but having no deer in the last room is something that does not happen very often.
I've killed the citrus. This is concerning. Please go away. I'm dead now. Okay.
Is there a centipede?
Why were they all there? No, it just didn't make the jump because the scavenger hit me.
Oh.
Slightly lower than I thought I was.
The scavs love you too much. There's a delicate balance between having the scavs like you and having them like you too much, where they just chase you around and are generally in the way. I'm trying to decide if I take the closer shelter here or not. I really don't want to. Last time I got into the last deer room with I had 3 minutes, but no deer. I won't mess that up again, I suppose. I assumed it was in the bottom of the room.
Is unhappy. Why did it have to be an angle?
So, already kind of showing there wasn't the blue lizard in this room last time I was here. And hopefully it doesn't stand right in my way. Once it sees me, it'll come back through this pipe, though.
Grabbed it in the other order. Messing up with the item stuff. I should just keep a spear. Is my problem.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm gonna take a shelter somewhere. Oh. You know, technically I could passage somewhere. Oh, I have the longest cycle now. Okay, now I'm happy. Okay. Unfortunately, I lost a bit of progress on Saint from dying like that, but it's okay. I feel better now with the cycle length. Because I got two kind of medium length ones before. Which, actually, for most of the speedruns in this game, the cycle length isn't a big deal. It is for a couple of them, though. And for 100%, there are a couple of days where you have a really long way to go, like this one.
I'm just gonna leave now.
Oop. Just trying to grab a batfly and not thinking about what I was doing.
Didn't think about that jump. That's fine though. Don't know how to deal with this room sometimes. I want to go fast, but I don't want to miss the platform.
Which one?
The falling down Sky Islands run in the corner, bottom left.
I'm not sure which one you mean.
The one
Doesn't
in
matter.
the absolute bottom left of the area.
There's kind of, I think if I understand, there's like a sort of a route over top of the room that works okay, and then you just kind of slide down the wall. Works out all right. Normally, you just eat the centipedes at the end of this room, but I specifically want 5 foods here, I believe.
Don't need popcorn, only actual food.
It was kind of unlucky last time that the blue lizard decided to go exactly this way, but not the end of the world.
Weren't kidding about the sound range. It's very annoying to sound balance this game, because it's kind of like everything's too quiet, but if you don't do that, it'll be very annoying. I should probably test more with a limiter for my personal stuff, but it always depends.
I had a toggle for this game volume for a while that I used to use back when we did something that we don't do anymore.
We'll have to press it, though.
There's a certain place in the game that is very, very loud. Oh, got a lucky deer this time. I hope. If it decides to come this way. Hello? This deer is acting crazy.
Maybe I should have brought the third puff. So every time with deer, if you bring a puffball, if you throw it on the ground, it'll always summon one into your room, but they can come in from the left or the right side. I got one from the right side, so that's good. So you kind of have to win a 50-50 every time you throw one to hope it comes from the right side, because these rooms are really, really big.
And this time I actually have a long cycle length, so I will make it to where I'm trying to get to.
Don't eat it, no. Doesn't actually matter if you feed the deer, but it helps them to sit down. And
It makes it easier to
then,
get on their heads, basically.
yeah, but you can still take it from their mouth and then use it for other stuff later. But all that matters is that you get on top of them. Currently, there is no way to actually control deer that will change with downpour, though. They'll kind of do whatever they want. If you understand their AI, it actually isn't too bad, but AI can still break, or if you're just in bad situations, they'll do the opposite of what you want. You just need to be patient with them.
Which is stressful when you have limited cycle lengths.
Yep.
Sometimes.
So one thing that Tesla Coil is saying is it'll always summon another deer that's available, and any that are in the room, they'll go to where it was thrown, and they have to sit down or at least go near where it was thrown to clear a flag. In some cases, where the AI breaks is where it's just unable to clear that flag, and it can't.
And it never gets back up. It's something that happens sometimes.
One other thing about the AI that people don't understand, that really messes up people, is if a deer can potentially see you, even like multiple screens away, and you can't see them, and you're holding the puff, if you're holding it too long and they see you with it, they won't consider that puff to exist anymore and will stop caring about it. So I would keep it on the ground so that they will actually care about it when they get close. And they'll actually sit down faster if it's already on the ground.
And it looks like I maybe got no deer in this room again. Which is really weirdly unlucky. Is there one here this time? Nope. So, about to do funny glitch where it's really important that the deer is in the room before me. So, I have a few attempts at this though. This room's quite big, so doing that effectively is enough to unload the room so that the deer gets in place. I have these puffball things, which I'm just going to swallow it right now, and then the game kind of crashes a little bit.
It'll be happening on both our screens in a second. The idea is if you put the puffball in your stomach next to the deer is paying attention to it so much that it moves downwards a set distance for some reason. If that's into the ground, it'll physics try to update but lag the game. It doesn't like to lag the player, so you can still move, but none of the worm grass in the room will affect you anymore. All the other creatures will also still move, but considering the worm grass is part of the terrain, it won't affect you at all. So I'm going to start getting Saint and Hunter, which means that I eat the baby centipedes alive. That's right. If you eat something alive, it's not hurting them. Because that makes sense. I need one more.
I really need to reword my splits at this part, so I'm always confused of what I'm doing here. It's okay though.
I have to karma cash the Hunter, personally. I could bet into Friend, but I don't care.
There is one final echo to get, which is right next to a steep drop here in this next room.
Well, so yes, with that glitch that we did with the deer has to be in the room before you. You can't... Yeah, deer has to be in the room before you, otherwise you can't move when you do the glitch. Because then you'll fully swallow it.
Yep.
And it'll eventually resolve itself after a minute. You do not want to leave the room, otherwise you have to wait for it to fully resolve itself. And if you take the puffball out, the glitch will end, which is why we're able to do that so effectively. Should have checked Hunter progress. So right now, I'm at least eating meat and then purposely karma caching, so I get progress in Hunter, which is eating meat for multiple cycles.
There's a particular food amount that I'm eating to here, where if things go correctly, it'll make my life a lot easier. Also, this is where I pick up the last lore pearl.
It's the special stomach spot pocket. Oh, it's gonna be a while. Be a while till I can do anything else. Well, we're about to enter the last area of the game, in which we need to kill... I need to kill 2 lizards and become friends with one of them.
I wish I grabbed that centipede as I went by it. I really need that thing. But this one's okay too, though.
I pressed exit. That's not correct.
Is there only a blue? There is only a blue.
Feed him to the green lizard.
Green lizard, not here. So, a funny thing with the lizards around here is they can't quite figure out how to get a hold of these little centipedes.
Small centipede's too small. One thing about lizards, it's very noticeable with green lizards, because that'll happen with you too, is they'll only actually bite if the food is at the end of their nose.
No, my friend died to worm
close. No. So if it's too close, they can't actually pick anything up.
I just have terrible luck with this thing every single attempt. This is the one part in the record right now that I do really slowly compared to Iced.
In my opinion, you should always go for the green.
Yeah, I know. It's just not here. Even though it lives here.
It is there. You just gotta believe that it'll come back. Believe. There's nothing that can hurt him here except scavengers. So never mind. There's everything that can hurt him here.
Oh, and it ate me. Okay. Well, maybe I'll be luckier this time.
Need to do it one more time. Usually wins right. I don't think he'll ever path all the way to the right. That's a separate green lizard Tesla coil.
It doesn't normally fall into the pit, if that's what you're saying. There is one difference between blue lizards and green lizards that's important for this, which is that you can't grab food back out of green lizard's mouth. Something I've noticed.
You can. You definitely can.
No,
it's
you
just
can't.
a little bit harder. Yes, you can. Trust me.
But anyways, it's easy to do for blue lizards, and I want to have one centipede here so that I can karma cache repeatedly quickly. Which, it's convenient that there are small centipedes that are around here to begin with. And there should be enough of them, but I have to dodge the other lizard. So, as long as I can find a lizard now, I should be okay. Which, again, it is a ghost town.
I must get the final echo. And then both of us are going to be in the last area of the game.
Hello, Prince.
Then we'll be going and finishing the last things we need to do. Then go to the last sub-area of the game. Then go to the lower area of the last sub-area of the game. Then we're going to do the second ending. It never ends. Also, it won't take too much longer, as long as friend goes well for both of us.
I'm struggling with this green lizard right now, but cannot figure out how to bite this small centipede as it does. Okay. This might be alright.
Don't you just hate it when you're a pixel away from the toll and they don't accept it? Depends on the toll. Because if you're in the outskirts one, you probably just don't understand the toll, I will say. Because you need to be... If you're coming from farm arrays, you need to jump off the platform that you land on and actually place it down below there, and you shouldn't throw it either.
Oh. Okay.
Because otherwise, the scavengers literally can't see the pearl if it's on that platform. And you need to do it quickly or they'll stop caring about what you're doing. So that one gets a lot of people. Green lizard. Hello. Green lizard.
My friend is not helping me out. Yes, come this way.
I've made a mistake.
Did it finally manage to do what it needs to? Oh, come on, just eat the thing and go to your house. Or come this way. Please pick. Finally. Okay.
But the checkpoint overlaps the pipe. Kinda, that's how that works.
Okay, this one seems like my friend now, so now I just have to make sure it gets in here.
Oh no, this one's annoying. Perfect.
Is this guy not my friend? Oh, please.
Might not be. But it's with how the room's set up. So basically, it goes by coordinate systems, is bottom left of any given room. And because the toll is so far to the left,
this way.
If you come in from the left and then leave back to the left before paying, for a frame, it takes your coordinate system from that previous room and applies it to the other room, and they'll consider that you've passed the toll and they hate you and they'll try to kill you.
My green lizard is broken.
That's not the problem with the being on the platform. That's a separate thing. It's two problems with that room.
This way. Please. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Things should be okay now, I hope.
The toll's just way too far to the left in that room. All tolls should be in the middle of like a really large room so that when you go to the rooms to the side, it doesn't have that problem.
That was a saga. Okay, now to see if I actually got friend progress, though. Which, I don't see it. This is terrible.
How did you even get him in there? I just got friend right now. I'm done. So I'm going to kill a mole now, and then I'm over it. Green friend. I have to kill the green friend, actually. Because I need a green kill. Friends are double useful.
Yeah, like I was saying, this is probably definitely the part of the run I am the worst at. Okay, now I start to have friend progress, which is interesting that it didn't happen the first time.
Where are the spears? Here we are.
I'm stuck inside my friend's body right now, though.
Come over here.
Where are you going? Come back. It's weird because this lizard was definitely my friend, and somehow it didn't count the first time. It doesn't really matter, but that was really weird. I keep making progress on achievements, so I have to keep waiting for this full thing.
Died to the worm grass. Wish I had another rock right now.
Okay. We are getting close to the end here, though.
Yeah, I killed my green lizard. Green lizards are very scary. You might consider them like an early game enemy, but they're very tanky. The moment you hit them, they become much more aggro, and it's very easy for them to kill you. So you need to be careful.
It's supposed to be the creature that teaches the new player to be afraid of everything. Or the slow bumbling green lizards that are immortal at the start. Okay. So I should have friend now. I lost it? Oh, this is pain.
What happened? I don't think he's actually your friend. You have to feed him at the beginning of every cycle.
I know. I thought I did it, though. This is so weird.
Big centipede. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
I only needed one more pip of progress with it. Why did it even come into the shelter with me then? Okay, well, this is going to be a struggle for a couple minutes while I get this to actually work.
I feel like it needs to be fed enough or like you enough. I'm not sure.
Somehow I got 2 pips of progress though, but I can see why it didn't work the first time. Can I grab this back from it? Okay. I think I have a solution to this kind of.
Normally we rest at the other shelter, but I'm going to rest at this shelter, which gets me one less dream at the end. Although we've messed up so much, so that might not actually work.
Kind of doesn't
But if you
matter.
rest at the last shelter of the game, you always get the same dream. It'll only happen there.
I'm just doing it this way.
We purposely avoid that. Alright, I have all passages, which means I'm good to finish the game. I'm just gonna go down and do that.
I am playing with a lizard, which will take a little while, but I will get there. I just have to finish Hunter first. And that counted as friend progress somehow.
You didn't finish Hunter either?
No.
Why? Should have.
Well, I do it at the same time, but
that's why I didn't want to do that. Too many days of not feeding betrays trust. I'm not sure if it's really that, but one thing that's definitely true is if you take a lizard to another region, the region has rep for all lizards in it, and that if your lizard's friendliness to you doesn't overpower that region rep with lizards, they'll start attacking you the moment you go through a gate.
okay, so I should have Hunter down now, and now I'm just gonna do friend a different way. But yes, I will get there.
If a friend lizard starts like opening its mouth when it's around you, you should feed it because it's not fully your friend. And every time it does a little snap, it has just the same amount of chance as its instant kill chance. And it will actually bite you if that rolls an instant kill on that little nibble, and then it'll kill you. Very particular. So I'm entering the last area of the game. There's no more creatures. It is essentially movement land, which I'm not going to do terribly well, but that's fine.
Oh my god. Struggling with friend here. I might just quit on friend and assume I got it. And go do the rest of what I'm supposed to do.
Okay. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Our friend almost by accident. That happens. In real life, too. 2. Oh my goodness, the little physics glitch.
Which one? From the spiders?
No, I'm in the last area. It just pushed me up off the pipe and pulled me off.
So basically, the situation I ended up in is that I had a lizard with me that did not know it's my friend. And so I have to feed it, but I need this food. So don't leave, please.
Which lizard are you using?
The green one.
Okay.
It'll come back to me now, though, because it's my friend. So, and I have enough food to starve. So all I need is for it to actually get into its house, which is right here. And then it'll come back to me. So I'll get there. I just have to be patient.
Got hungry and aggroed. So, lizards only become friends if you actually feed it once.
When it's important that they... No, don't leave.
Yes, and so if you won't get friend progress unless you actually feed it once and you rest in a shelter. If one or the other don't happen, it doesn't count. You probably weren't actually friends with it. In that case, Tesla coil. But at the beginning of every cycle, anything that's in your shelter will not aggro to kill you. And so the lizard will always be tame for a period of time that allows you to get out so it doesn't kill you. Does it matter if it returns to its shelter? No, it does not. You just need to feed it. And you could take the food away from it after and then eat it in front of it, and it's still your friend as long as you gave it food. Give it enough food to make it like you.
Normally, you only need to feed a green lizard once for it to be your friend.
Nope. Green
but this green lizard eternally hates me.
The tame. The other lizards are not as easy. The white lizard's purposely set up so that it becomes enough of your friend, but will still try to kill you. So it's a funny one. Hello, Leon.
Yeah.
Feed every lizard. Yes.
I don't understand.
I'm traveling into the depths land. Also, I didn't talk about the things I passed by, but normally
This green should be my friend, but it keeps being crazy.
Normally need to actually do one of two things to actually be able to get down here. And I've done both. We've done both. Well, let's just worry about icetoblerones and their centipedes. I've had the same situation as icetoblerones had a lot. It's more of just having a lot of experience in that specific situation.
Yes, because this green hates me still. Okay. It isn't accepting the gift at the start, so instead I'm just gonna leave the shelter and give it its food to its face.
Probably better outside the shelter. Sometimes the green will just decide to never leave the shelter, I have noticed. Don't know why it does that.
Yeah.
How much can you pacify a region? I've never actually cared about doing that. I must be honest. But apparently you can make everything your friend just by giving everything food.
This is an epic saga here. I'm at least not losing friend progress, but...
Even if like a new lizard shows up, it'll count for them too.
Okay, this one seems to like me now. Nope. Okay.
So I am about to enter the last room of the game. Time is going to be when I go down and the camera starts following me, which I'll state. If there's audio on me, you should turn it really down. I'm going to go to the actual ending, which isn't for a while, but we don't time to that.
Well,
but
I haven't had this happen. This is...
Oh no. But one
it's
thing
so
stays...
weird that sometimes it was my friend and sometimes it wasn't, and I have no idea why.
You have to feed it every cycle you wake up. I would assume is what's happening. But also, for people who haven't played this game, don't consider the ending to be anything alike to what the game is like. The ending's kind of like does whatever it wants. Also, time is right now for me. I got a 2 hours, 3 minutes, 32 seconds.
So all you have to do when it comes to this is it needs to interpret your food that you're giving it as a gift, which is sometimes hard. It's normally pretty easy to deal with, but I'm having an extreme struggle with this right now. I think I just have to just walk totally away from it and just do this from scratch. Because right now it's kind of pacified, and I don't understand why it's not accepting the centipede as a gift sometimes, but then sometimes it is. Which is weird. Okay. So after doing that, this lizard should think I'm its friend for sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. And then it should come down here with me. And then maybe I am done this one.
Also, one thing for...
try to come to your shelter with you.
One thing for what I'm doing is... Where I'm at, we're swimming in water.
Over and over. Okay.
But you don't need to worry about air. And so I can just press jump rhythmically and swim faster. If I was on a controller, doing a snaking motion is better. It doesn't matter as much for keyboard, but I still do it anyway.
Oh, I didn't get friend yet. Okay, I'll just do it this way. Well, I guess I learned something new today.
Food time. Make sure you feed him before he goes in.
I did feed him.
I need to see what you did, but he totally wasn't a friend when he came in the first time, it sounds like. Background creatures themselves, don't worry about it. Nothing's happening on my screen.
Seems like there's kind of... Okay. See, this is way smoother now this time. This is what it's supposed to be like. This is okay, though. But I managed to get it in there without it thinking I was its friend somehow, which is really weird. It's normally pretty tough to do that.
3, 4.
No.
5, 6, 7. Active.
Okay. I'll be almost done this. If I started doing this earlier, I would have been done this way sooner. But, okay. Because now it's showing me progress on an achievement, I think. Wait, why can't I continue? Oh, friend is done. Okay.
What did you do?
There are just a lot of weird things happening. I don't even know how that's possible, but okay. I had friend as like 80% done somehow. Which is weird because it's normally only supposed to go up in thirds, but okay. And it'd be nice if I ate that centipede before I started going this way.
Yeah, not fully, friend. Also, I can barely hear anything right now. I'm sorry.
So the very last thing that I need to do before ascending is getting a mole kill. Which shouldn't be too hard.
You got the green kill. You're good too, yeah.
Yeah, I got the green. I use the explosive stick outside of garbage wastes for it. I think is a pretty nice strat for it, to be honest.
Lots of few faction fans like us, I think. Could have been that. It's more likely that, depending on how friendly the lizard is, gives you a certain amount of friend. So in a lot of cases, you can just barely not get it off of 3 cycles. If it's not, like, the best friend.
Give me centipede to eat. It's mine.
You still need Hunter, too.
No, I have Hunter.
Okay.
Okay. I do need to get things to eat, though. Which normally the centipedes are a good way to do this, but I do need to rest after I get the mole kill. Need a little more food.
Alright, I'm going to be getting ending cutscene on my end a little bit. We're just swimming with our friends right now.
This green lizard is stealing all my food.
Good. Green lizard gets all the food.
Yeah. Which I want at least a rock, hopefully, but if I don't find one. Okay.
Old time is right now, but we don't worry about that anymore.
I got owned by hitboxes, but I'm alive still at least.
Okay.
And there's a stick up here, so now I just have to get a mole, and then I can also run to the end. Which... There's sometimes a mole in here already. This spot's kind of dangerous because there's a really long pipe that's just a straight line. And if a mole's in a bad place, which there isn't one here, I'll have to look for it in the lower rooms. The way mole lizards work is they are super sensitive to sound, but are blind.
Oak tree.
This is... Oh, and there's a blue lizard here. I wish that didn't happen like that. Yeah. I actually want to eat the centipede at the start so I don't have issues with this again. Okay.
Oh, I get to see what you're doing.
Just, well, I mean, I already did the thing with the green lizard, but... I forget what food I normally get here. I guess just centipede.
Centipedes there. Should be good, but there's also...
There are some fruits around.
Yeah. That'll be the fruit
There are those ones that I think I probably eat most of the time.
Near the end one, the end shelter is also good if you go to that one.
Oh, yeah, the side in that room at the top.
Both sides,
Right.
really. They both have them.
Yep. Should have been eating the fruits. Oh well. So I just have to manage to get through and get up to the mole. Which crazy scavs. Yeah.
Time to die to the kelp.
I almost did last time. This thing should never be able to get you, but at the same time, it does happen. And this time there's a mole right outside of here. Which I thought I saw. Was it a spider maybe? Nope. Okay. It might have crawled over and then fallen down. Yeah, this is the last objective I need, is one of these spooky shadow lizards. Which there are none around at the moment. And I don't hear any either, which is kind of not ideal, but... There's kind of a cool trick with this where you can see which direction Slugcat is looking towards. Because it'll look towards interesting things, and enemy creatures are interesting enough. Except there are no mole lizards anywhere. Do I have enough to starve? I could just rest here and then kill one. Yeah, I'm just gonna save here and then kill a mole and then starve rest. Because it will count.
Okay.
And I don't want to walk through that way again.
Kill it right now. Do it.
I'm afraid of dying again.
No.
And they'll show up in a consistent spot now. Which is kind of nice.
Creatures we haven't seen in our run here, all avoiding each other.
Yeah. So this should finish off the requirements of the run for me. And then all I have to do is walk to the end. Which doesn't take me too long to get there, but it is still like 5 more minutes at least. But yeah, can see all 12 passages. Which means I've met everything I need to do now. The end of this game is a bit odd because... and it's kind of maybe a little hard to tell from watching, but basically the physics frame rate for the game actually gradually changes as you go. It's very subtle at first, but it's extremely noticeable towards the last few rooms. There's a mole that spawns right down here.
The other thing is there's a slow pull upwards, so you actually jump slightly higher, and if you're on poles, you slowly move upwards too.
You can get light enough where you can fly using a squid cicada. You can just take off, which is kind of funny. This was the only way that we knew how to fly with it at one point, but we found out I think it was like 3 months ago, that there's another way to fly with them.
You can starve, and then if you starve, and then you grab a squid cicada, and then do a backflip, and if you just hold jump, you could just go up and down as you want. Which is a big deal, but it's also an awkward setup that doesn't matter nearly as much.
Now entering part of game that I have rehearsed many, many, many times. Because of any percent.
Icetoblerones does this a lot more than I do, and then I haven't done speedrunning really as much this past year or so.
Normally, or for any percent at least, there's a certain glitch that we have to do here that removes these guardian creatures who block the end of the game. But I'm not going to worry about that.
Hello, people from Raid. Hello. Welcome. We're finishing up a Rain World race here. icetoblerones is about to end. Maybe you don't want to see spoilers for that. Also, I'm going to say it again as icetoblerones finishes up. The game, this game, Rain World, is about to get DLC released this Thursday. So if it was ever interesting to play this game, it would be starting this Thursday. It would be a great time to start.
It is kind of unfortunate that it's so hard to see during this part, but I just know the terrain of the room, so I don't really need to think about it too much. But there aren't any creatures around here, so this area, movement-wise, is like one of the most optimized parts, really. Ooh. Missed the cool slide. Oh well. And compared to the past, this is the thing. This is one of the spots in the game that we've got the most better at in the last 2 years, with how any percent has progressed.
There's gonna be next to tomorrow. No spoils. Unless you want spoils. I might just play Monk on stream or something. Probably not, though. Because there would still be stuff on screen that would be different in some places. So that a drop. Oh, now I stormed in the last room. They just got to get to the transition at the bottom of the screen. That'll be time. Probably don't need to go through the rest of the the full.
Already did it on yours, and I'm over time, so. I basically started speedrunning this game right when we first voted for this change to end time here, with also the crazy loudness. I'm sorry.
Because all the stuff after this point is completely RNG, and you can lose an entire minute.
To the giant worms being bad.
Just because. Yes, very good.
Okay.
All right.
Good job, Iced.
It's pretty much everything that we had to show for today.
All right. Thank you very much, icetoblerones and ICED37 for your wonderful showcase of Rain World's 100% Survivor. I'd like to ask you if you have any shout outs or plugs that you'd like to do, and then I'll sign us off.
Well, pretty much what we kind of said at the beginning of, and what I said a little bit ago. Downpour's coming out this Thursday, and I'm going to be one of the people with early access. I'll be streaming it tomorrow on my channel, ICED37. Additionally, from yesterday was our final of our Rain World Bingo event that we had going. We have Rain World Speedrunning Twitch channel, and the final was on Speed Gaming yesterday, and that went very well.
I would say just look out for people who are playing Downpour if you're curious about the game.
Or don't.
Yeah, tomorrow people are getting it.
This game is very, it's the best way to put it. It's very, you try to figure out stuff yourself. If you don't care about too much about that, it's still very good to not see everything, I suppose.
In particular, I know
game is very interesting
Nanoferret.
to watch.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I know Nanoferret and Ira, who was in the chat earlier. Both, I think, have early access and are going to be streaming Downpour tomorrow. Something I would say for shoutouts, but otherwise, thanks a lot for having us.
icetoblerones here also streams. They're going to be doing a lot of any percent. They did one recently that was very, very good. But otherwise, with the new DLC, we're trying to set it up, find what the new categories for the speedruns are, and see where that goes from there. But yeah, all right, that's all good from us.
All right, thank you again, both. This has been Rejects and Friends Event Horizon. Rejects and Friends is sort of showcase race sort of hype event for the main events that happen in the winter and also the summer. If you found this interesting and would like to see more, we have a lot of cool events coming up, like an any percent relay for the Zelda games and the Minish Cap randomizers, as well as Majora's Mask glitchless all masks. So if any of those sound interesting, please make sure to leave a follow. That's all we have for today. So thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we will see you next time.